Hey everyone, Fuseman coming at you. And today I wanted to do a short recap of my experience at the Oculus Connect for Keynote. Now, for starters, there are really three main announcements. One, the Oculus Go headset is coming out for $199 sometime in 2018, so that's really exciting. Two, we have the Cruz headset that's still in development, probably coming a little later in 2018. But that supports, it's a standalone headset that supports positional tracking, as well as hand controllers that are in some sort of periphery in front of your hand. It's a lot bigger of a field of view than the Microsoft headset, but without having actually tried it, it's kind of hard to tell if it'll have the same issues that the Microsoft headset has. And then three, the next big announcement was that the Rift is coming down to $399. There are a bunch of other announcements, but I feel like these were kind of the core things that are especially relevant to consumers. So starting with the headset, I think it's a really interesting move. It's almost something that feels like it should have come out a while ago, especially if it's only supporting 3DoF, probably has the same resolution as a camera. So I'm glad it's coming out, but it kind of feels like it's one of those things that could have been made a lot sooner. So I'm curious to see what is going to separate it apart when it actually comes out sometime in 2018. Regarding the Cruz headset, I personally am not very excited for it at all. To be fair, I have not tried it. I probably won't get to try it at least until 2018. But my high-level take, and this is kind of what I felt during the keynote, if you look really closely at the Cruz trailer, what you end up seeing is that a lot of the people seem to be holding the controllers in a really artificial way. It might just be that the prototype doesn't fully support what they're claiming or something of that nature, but the movements felt a lot more stiff when you compare that to the Vive or even the Rift. So there was something weird going on. I'm not really sure, but I'm finding it a little difficult to believe that the actual hand controllers are tracked as well as they said they are. I hope I'm wrong, but I personally have a big issue with both the Windows Mixed Reality headset and this new Cruz headset, purely because the tracking is not done within the controllers. That's really what needs to happen, is you need to have the cameras track and then send that data to the headset. It's a little harder of a thing to do, especially to keep a good price point, but the advantage being you're going to actually be able to track in 360 space, not in front of your head, which really, believe it or not, when you interact in the world, a lot of the things you do are outside of the field of view of your hands. So being able to track outside of the field of view of your headset is actually surprisingly a big deal. So personal take, not really excited about the Cruz headset. And last but not least, the price cut for the Rift. I personally think for a consumer, that is a fantastic thing, and I hope it brings in a lot more people into the VR ecosystem. Regarding whether as a developer I would pay the $200 more for a Vive, at this point, I think I would. The reason being is, and this is still maybe a little further out, but I think Vive is moving a lot faster than Rift in regards to foveated rendering. You have the deluxe audio strap, or you can, maybe if Vive wants to, they can attach something else. You can have the Knuckles coming soon. And maybe, I don't know what their plan for the Knuckles is, but I think that'll be valuable. You have an open platform to work with. SteamVR is great. It's built natively for the Vive and the LG headset when it comes out. And you've got a pretty big ecosystem for developing for that. Just from an ideological standpoint, there seem to be a lot of wins, both on the hardware and the software side, that make the $200 justifiable. But like I said, if you're a consumer looking to buy a headset, I feel like the $200 isn't as justified, and the Rift makes a lot more sense. So those are pretty much the three core things. There were a lot of other things that Oculus announced, but one of the key messages that was from this keynote was a lot of things are still pending. There wasn't really, other than the price cut and maybe a couple of other things, most things were, this is going to come in 2018, this will come even later, we don't have a date for that. The bright news is that things are moving and it's an exciting time. That's for sure. All right, so I'm going to go back to enjoying the Oculus 4 conference. Until next time, it's been Fuseman, and I'm signing out.